everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. Welcome to your first half of the month of October Tarot, Oracle, and Love Connection readings for every single sign. So for those that are new, welcome to my channel. I really appreciate you stopping in. There's a lot of choices these days, and I'm honored and extremely grateful for your time to check out the messages and information coming through for you. And to get to that very point, I do, in my normal fashion, pick a different sign every single day. I read for the first half of the month of each month and then the second half of the month. And so what I'm going to do is what I always do is pick a featured sign by going around the zodiac in order so that people know, when their time is up. Though I always recommend, these are the sun sign love connection readings. The sun sign is the first house. It's our personalities, our interests, our ego-driven, desires, how people see us and how we want to feel that we are making a difference in the world, what our choices are, our work, our life, our relationships. All those sort of things come in the first house. It's our birth season, It is the Libra season as we're in right now. We're also in Libra Mercury retrograde right now through the 18th actually of October. And so a lot of Libra energies. And so I pick a featured sign for every single day, and then I pick a highlighted sign for that featured sign. The featured sign is what the reading is predominantly for. With the highlighted connection, it's information about another connection or another astrological sign that you may be in touch with now, or you may be connected to in some way. Some love connection, doesn't have to be romantic, but certainly that's a part of it. And then I read 4 major categories from my beautiful tarot deck that I pick, and I choose a different one each, part of the month. Oracle and divinations that I think are extremely wisdom-filled and there to help us and guide us and just send us love and, inspiration in our lives. And today's featured sign is that of the beautiful, earth-oriented, very successful, very success-oriented, resourceful, grounded, very practical, for lack of a better word, sign of Capricorn. So I was almost getting a Capricorn. Everything's kind of, today's interesting for me. I started a little later, and when you get off your beaten path or, your regimented kind of routine, it's interesting how it affects you, but it's all good. It's perfect. I just, yeah, Capricorn, you have had a lot of influence on this earth in the last, many, many years, but last year there were a fair amount of planets in your sign, and Jupiter was in your sign, and that's this very special placement when we have Jupiter in our sign. And this year we have it in the sign of Aquarius, right next to you, which isn't a bad thing. It's very different than your energy normally as an air sign and you being an earth sign, but it works really well together. And you're very interested in knowledge and learning and working hard and persevering and reaching the highest mountains and the highest obstacles, if you will, to succeed. And you don't stop until you do, which is a beautiful trait. You're very determined. You're not a fixed sign. You are a cardinal sign. You are the initiator, the pioneer of everything. You do represent the season that you cater and bring into this, which is the season of winter, if that makes sense. You and all the other cardinals represent a specific season. So it's a beginning, it's a new beginning, it's a new start, it's a transformation, it's a change in the season, the weather, our feelings. We're presently in the season of fall, which, Libra catered us into, and also being a cardinal sign. So there's a kind of a beautiful harmonizing energy with the trining of the cardinal signs right now. And I say that because one of the other big planets, which is Chiron, is in a sign of Aries, another cardinal sign, the polar opposite of Libra. So there is this kind of interesting harmonious energy going on with the cardinal signs right now. Excuse me. And beyond that, I just want to say that I think that there's been a lot of acknowledgement for a lot of us this year in particular, after last year's incredible transformation in so many ways for all of us, that with a lot of air energies coming through and continuing to for years to come, there's a lot more about the idea of using our mind to better ourselves, to learn, to experience more knowledge, more information, you know, that's there for all of us. It doesn't just cater to a certain percentage or any of the other issues that could be out in the world of, you know, not being fair and just. It's absolutely the opposite. It's allowing all of us to be able to have that right and that individualism and the autonomy that I think a lot of us really strive for. And it's breaking away from the tradition of the Capricorn energy of, you know, just long-term belief systems. It's definitely about hierarchy. It's about, you know, institutions. It's about, you know, steadfast dogma kind of outlooks, if that makes sense. I'm trying to generalize this as much as possible. It's hard for me to do. However, the point is that a lot of that's breaking away, merely for the purpose of being able to help everybody and to be able to realize how we can, you know, reinvent ourselves, basically, you know, reinvent the wheel, as they say. You know, there's a lot of that energy. It's exciting and it's different and it's life altering and life changing, but that's what life is. It's a continuum. It's a constant change, right? Even with this known things and all the, you know, phases and the different seasons and all this, they too are changing. So going with that and just feeling inspired and excited about it, you know, and knowing that we hold the ticket and the key to our evolution, our happiness in many ways. So having said all that, let's get on to your reading and let you know what your highlight connection is for today, for the first half of October, I should say, Capricorn. And this is spiritly led. I am a long-time psychic intuitive tarot reader with a very huge enthusiastic spin on, you know, astrology and compatibility, which is pretty darn uncanny as to who gravitates to each other and the reasons why. So I try to break that down a little bit in my readings. And so your highlighted connection could be somebody you're very familiar with, somebody you're in tune with, somebody you're connected with right now. Long-term commitment that's been going on, whether it be marriage or partnership in work or family tie, you know, an animal, or, you know, anything that matters to you in the sense of love and that bond that you have. Or it could be somebody coming through, or that energy alone that you're just feeling more a part of. Maybe you have a lot of that energy or that particular sign in your personal natal chart, in addition to your sun sign, which is the Capricorn earth element. And you have, okay, this isn't the first time this has come up for you. And it barely just basically dropped. I mean, I really didn't, I'm always afraid it's going to come off the board, but you have Gemini. Gemini is very, very good for you in so many ways, very different, but in a nutshell, you being the grounded kind of, you know, passive, I would say, more behind the scenes, kind of stern energy, almost like, you know, kind of a, well, you represent the season of winter. So there's more of a barren, just, I don't know, you're used to working hard and toiling and making sure that, you know, everything gets put together. You feel many times that you do the best at what you do. I mean, you do have people around you that support you, I'm sure. And you have a lot of help. Certainly, you know, spiritually, there's always divine intervention there for you. But what I'm saying is that you're not so much of the air quality as Gemini, which is about communicating and speaking and socializing and getting out there and being seen and being heard, and the gift of gab and, you know, the intellect. I'm sure you're intelligent, but the intellect is a huge thing for a lot of Geminis, where they just want to keep learning and they know all sorts of things about everything, and they want to share this knowledge and convince people to be on board about what it is they are teaching. A lot of times they are teachers, the Gemini. It's a archetyped. It's not a, you know, it's not a, you know, prejudice or anything. It's just something that's been known. And I've known many teachers that are Geminis wanting to pass on that once again, that information, the word, you know, they're mutable, they're open and adaptive to learning and expressing and changing their lives, changing their point of view as well. They're a duality sign. So, you know, they're very matter of fact in a lot of ways, but then at the same time kind of carefree, open-minded, and like freedom-seeking, let's see what else is out there kind of thing. Not stuck in any one particular genre. So that's a very, very kind of exciting and important, I think, helpful complementary energy for a lot of the earth signs, as is earth helpful for Gemini, because Gemini being up there and in the mind a lot of times, they need to be brought down to earth and grounded. They need to be told, okay, now it's time to take those deep breaths, calm yourself down, let's take a nice walk in nature. This would be a Capricorn talking to a Gemini. And let us just sit and just breathe deep, because we can learn even more. We can really excel in just listening to ourselves. This is what the retrograde seasons always bring about. There's many planets in retrograde right now. And your ruling planet is Saturn, Capricorn. So you have such an innate understanding of time. Saturn is the planet of, Father Time, the oldest established monuments and things I mentioned earlier, the traditional ways of going about doing things, which, like I said, is becoming more and more passé as we live each and every day. I think that's being very, very brought to the, worldwide attention. And so the Saturn is the taskmaster that teaches us to stay on track and wants us to kind of constrict the idea of going crazy or going overboard or spending too much or eating too much or overdoing exercise, overdoing romance, overdoing anything. It just makes us, it kind of takes the fun out of stuff in some ways, certainly in a general, outlook on a Gemini's point of view, because they love fun and they want to change things up and they don't want to be told what to do. For heaven's sakes, no, but it's important for all of us, right? And once that energy of Saturn, which you were ruled by, this is who you are, but it tends to visit each and every individual sign for about 2.5 years. And when right now it's in the sign of Aquarius, so that'll be certainly through 2022, and then on towards about March of 2023. Once we finish that and we've gone through it, for example, when you're taking a course, it takes 2.5 years sometimes to get, certified or get your degree. And sometimes more, of course, but you know what I'm saying. When you've done that and you've been diligent and you've been focused and you stay on track and you do your homework and you get things done, you are going to be rewarded by all that work you put in, and you're going to have the degree and you're going to get the job you need that's going to give you more pay. It's a beautiful, beautiful influence. And if we look at it that way, it's a welcome influence, and it's going to be there whether we do or not welcome it. And depending on the sign is whether or not it's more compatible and more challenging for you. And I feel like Gemini, having Saturn in Aquarius, which is a fellow air sign to Gemini, and the fact that, it's your neighbor on the zodiac wheel, if you will, it's just really beautiful that you kind of had that understanding and that knowledge all along. Here you are, and here's Aquarius, okay? Very different, but very, very helpful for each other. Very, very, as I said, complementary, and it's really just a synergy that's there. Different ways of approaching life, but definitely focused on the betterment and improvement and success and well-being and joy, for all signs. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And who's the ruling planet of Gemini? It is Mercury. So right now I would say that any sign that's ruled by Mercury, which is Gemini, and also Virgo, along with the fact that we're all affected by Mercury retrogrades in some degree. It doesn't have to be huge. Certainly Libra, being in the sign of Libra, there would be more of a, I would say, a concentrated effort in wanting to get a message across. It might be misunderstood. It might be delayed. There might be some snags or blocks in the way during the time of retrograde, which will end, like I said, on the 18th, with the shadow period through about November 3rd or so. And it's okay. It's going to make us realize, okay, this is the time to do the fine tuning. And if we're interested in a particular investment, as you would be, Capricorn, maybe it is the Gemini you're invested in. But if that's the case, you're not really in a big rush. This is the time to really kind of look and feel and do your due diligence in all regards regarding whatever it is, and allowing, you know, the messages to come through, allowing the downtime to really receive how you really feel about it. Like I said, retrogrades are internalizing things, really focusing on what we really believe to be true for ourselves. And in fact, that affects everybody else, right? So I'm going to be the 4 major categories for this highlighted connection. And remember, this highlighted connection could be somebody you're familiar with, or it could be somebody coming in, somebody you're not aware of. These retrogrades always bring back people and circumstances into our lives. It's there to remind us, to show us, and to end it a lot of times. Final return, so that it can no longer be a part of your life if that's what you're choosing. And you do have free will about many things. And my readings are simply guidance, and they're not, you know, dictating exactly which direction you'll take ever. But hopefully helpful, you know, inspirational messages that can make you think about stuff and where you want to go. The overall energy is the first category for the first card. And I'm using the beautiful new deck that I got. It's the Hush Tarot. And it feels amazing. And it's, at first it felt quite dark. And I say that because not only are the colors different than what I'm used to using, they're more of a autumny fall, beautiful orange yellows, you know, sort of the second chakra, ground chakra, solar plexus, a lot of strength and courage, you know, that's being brought forth. Determination, will, trust is very affected here. And then it also is a deck that combines our spiritual selves with the beautiful animal kingdom and spirit world, along with nature. So it feels beautiful. I'm loving it more every day. And I hope that you will resonate with what the messages are, but sometimes you don't right away. It takes some time. Or you could always watch your moon, rising, and Venus placements for a better, thorough understanding and reading. So going on with your reading, your first overall energy for the first half of the month is the Hanged Man. Well, it's very, very in line with what I was just explaining, because a retrograde kind of keeps us from moving fast or moving forward or maybe going back, you know, just kind of in a suspended animation kind of place at this time. This represents the sign of Pisces. We had a very, very powerful full moon in Pisces about 2.5 weeks ago now, and I'm honestly still feeling it. I have Pisces in some of my, you know, placements in my chart. So if you have any Pisces or water, it was really effective. And the full moon versus the new moon is about shining a light on circumstances or areas that maybe need healing or have to be seen and addressed and faced, which is not always easy for the Pisces energy. Pisces is the fish, the duality sign of the fish, the water sign, the most spiritual sign in the zodiac, one of the most creative and artistic, you know, just filled with imagination and incredible talent, and so much heart and soul, so much desire to love and to spread that love and to share it with others and to be selfless and incredibly devoted, very vulnerable, very impressionable, and seeing things from a different perspective is the Hangman. It's absolutely the time to sit back, to wait until the retrograde goes forward, and a lot of the planets by the 18th of October. Huge difference in the momentum and the energy field for the second half. You'll have to come back for your second half of the month reading just to compare and see where you are as a baseline for this reading. But yeah, and it's the 8th. It's the 8th house. It's death and rebirth. It's rejuvenated. It's other people's inheritance. It's other people's money. It's other people's, you know, it's love. It's attachment. It's detachment. It's all of the above. It's a very, very beautiful kind of place to be sometimes, where we allow just to let go and to just feel, and not feel so much of a mind, you know, like logical way of looking at life. That's how I feel about this card for you. Okay? Not feeling like you have to overextend yourself at the job or work extra tireless hours, just to actually just kind of cut back a little bit, and just really put into perspective with this beautiful harvest time of the year of what it is you've come and done this far. What is the balance in your life? Is it balance? This is the Libra energy coming through for all of us. This is keeping us in mind of how important balance is, in all aspects, in give and take, in our bodies. Are we nurturing them in the right way? Are we getting enough water? Are we overextending the way how much we drink? Are we, the list goes on and on. But finding that balance is essential, and it is it's something that has to be done intentionally, and a lot of times it happens on its own, granted, but that's not what's happening now. There's a real motivation to bring the balance back in some respect in our lives, and that's what'll happen, and it'll feel great, and you'll be happy that it's happened. It's the same thing every year during this time. The second category is that of possible blessings or obstacles. And, people think of different things as being a blessing as well as obstacles. And as far as I'm concerned, most earth signs I know, and you included, Capricorn, your obstacles are your opportunities. Like you thrive on challenges and things that, get in your way, knowing you're going to fix it. You're going to make it work. This is what you do. This is how you want to see your life. You want to get past that and recognize and reap the benefits from all the hard work you do and the time you invest. This is also a time for people to recognize that, because we're entering into Scorpio after Libra season, and we do have Venus in Scorpio, which definitely has to do with money and value and love and passion and how we value ourselves, how much time we give to others and what do we get back, going back to the balance thing. Very crucial time right now for that, and important for us to keep a real true perspective on. And I think that changes as as the years go by. And it's changing for you as well. So possible blessings or obstacles, how perfect. It is the major arcana. I've not pulled this card since I've started doing these readings, the first time I've used this deck. It's a gorgeous, beautiful deck. And it's so beautifully illustrated. And the major arcana you got for your possible blessings or obstacles, it's kind of everything I was just saying. It's judgment. And this is something that the judgment has been made. The choices have been made. It's not like, justice, where things are fair and they're in your favor mostly if it's right side up, when this is right side up. This is a calling from deep within. This is the time that I say you spend making that judgment or that decision that you've come to, after a long, long time or a lot of deep introspection, okay? And it's going to be for your highest good. It could come about in ways that are, with divine intervention, that have finally brought you to a place that you have wanted to be, and you just needed to get a confirmation, It generally in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck will show, corpses rising from the dead. So this is you regenerating, rejuvenating, reestablishing, renewing, a phoenix rising from the ashes. You've made the choices, your karmic, decisions and proclamations have come to the forefront now. There's no going back, okay? And that's a wonderful thing. And for a lot of us, it's something we've prayed and wanted for so long, but it wasn't happening. It's happening. It's happened. And I think it can only be for highest good, because that's how the universe works for us. And that's, I think, how we really, and I'd like to inspire you to understand, to see that perspective, once again, going back to the first card, versus, oh, the world's against me. Well, it truly is not. But if we feel that way, we will, in fact, create that environment or that belief system, and that'll be harder to shake off. But our thoughts do become things, and we want to be careful of that. But just, you're in a great place. You deserve what you're getting. It is, once again, a lot of times karmic, and you brought it, but it's from many lifetimes ago, or it's from something that's happened in this lifetime, and it's a beautiful, beautiful recognition. Okay, so you feel confident and good about this judgment, and if it's about a person or a relationship, you're feeling extremely at ease and grounded, which is perfect for you, right, Capricorn? And the third category is that of finances. You love finances. You're very, very good with money. You're very resourceful. You know how to make it. You kind of have this golden Midas touch. And like I said, it's not from lack of working or attempt to, to put in the energy necessary. That is for darn sure. Never have I met a Capricorn who is not just one of the first at the office, last to go, just tiresome, but they don't look at it as work. See, that's the thing. It's a different mindset. If they love it, they're going to do it for as long as possible. The only thing I've noticed is with earth signs in particular, not only earth signs, is that the partner involved truly needs to understand and accept that, because they want to provide, earth signs. They want to do their best, and they want to leave a legacy, if you will. And that's going to take time and effort, and it's what they enjoy doing. So the best thing I would imagine for a lot of couples is to either be in work with them, or just simply understand that, enjoy the luxury, the life that you're living, that they're doing for you and themselves, of course. So your financial picture for the first half of the month, with an influence of a highlighted connection of Gemini in there, which is all about, working and shaking and moving and making connections and networking and growing, is the Queen of Wands. Woo, baby. Fired up and ready to make things happen. No second guessing, no holding back. This female, which generally I don't equate, any kind of gender to the signs. The queen is the queen for a reason. The king is the king. Both man or woman, doesn't matter. We both have both dualities, as I explained. And there's a real blending and understanding of that during the Libra season as well. But what I do want to say is that the female aspect is the part of us that's way more intuitive and more willing to just completely immerse ourselves in the ability to help others, okay? And to go out there and to make sure that people are taken care of. The masculine might be every bit of that, but it's actually more about assertive, the planning, the projection of things, the spirited aspect, the trust, the optimism, the physicality of everything, and the maturity. And there's maturity in the queen, of course. There's no second guessing. There's a beautiful arrow there that represents to me like the Sagittarius fire, which is Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries are the fire signs, the wands. And they mean business, and they are out to make themselves successful, and they aim for their desires and their aspirations, and that's it. They go for it. And that's what's happening. This is a very no nonsense. It's going on. It's happening fast. You've got a lot of information coming in about your money, and it's going to build, and it's going to get better and better through time. And it's not going to be a long period of time. It's not an earth sign or coin, pentacle that can take longer, but it's all in the sense of being able to have it last longer. This is a fast moving energy. There's no stopping anything with this. I love this. I love it for you. It's interesting. You have two major arcanas. You've got the beautiful queen in the financial, and there's really no doubt. I would just say there's no doubts. It's not a question of if, it's just when it has to do with your wealth and your well-being, and it could be your health, and that's doing well too. As long as you're making sure you're doing your checkups and you're taking care of yourself, and we already explained that, and you're being temperate and balanced in your everyday life activities, it'll go a long way for you. And then the final category is the surprises and wishes category, one of my favorites that I added because, yeah, life has a lot of surprises. It certainly did last year. And we had a lot of wishes that came along with that. And I think a lot of them have definitely started to come true. And thank goodness for that, right? And no, we're not out of it. We're not out of the woods, as they say. But we've certainly seen progress. And I, for one, never doubted for a second we would. I knew time was involved. You're perfect in understanding time, Capricorn. And timing is everything. And patience is essential, which I don't particularly have a lot of times. But I knew I needed to. I could try to fight City Hall. I could try to climb upstream against the currents of life, it doesn't really do much good. It actually breaks down our systems a lot of times. But to stand strong and true to yourself and know this too will pass. It's a beautiful, beautiful feeling, and I feel like that's what's happened. I feel like that's what's really, because of the consciousness of everybody wanting that. But your beautiful message, okay, wow. You got some beautiful, beautiful messages today, Capricorn, and I feel really grateful for you. I feel like you have created this. I feel like, you have, once again, divine intervention. You have the King of Swords. Truth, justice, fairness, speaking out. There's the sword that cuts through anything but truth, and very direct, very detached from emotions, very much about the maturity and the ability to handle situations, to handle them face on, to be, intelligent in the way that it's handled, to talk to the people that we need to, in higher, archy, as it were, in institutions that will give us the lowdown, the straight and narrow, right? And that's what you're coming into. There's a person, it could be the Gemini, it's not a coincidence, Aquarius or Libra, that's definitely going to inspire and add some really important information in your life. And that's beautiful. That is a wonderful surprise. And it also, with Aquarius, Jupiter in Aquarius till the end of the year, it's good for everybody when Jupiter's in Aquarius. It just depends on where that is for you, and how's that going to affect your speech, and how is it going to affect the people you talk to, and who inspire you and tell you the right leads to go to for the second job, or the information you may need on any particular, topic. It's there, and it's coming, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's well received. I think you're going to really, really appreciate this, and I like it. It's very, very much a part of the energies right now. So you're very much in tune with the energies, which is always a beautiful thing. So you have two major arcanas, a queen and a king. That's just showing you the balance of your own, duality, your own masculine and feminine, which is such an important part for us to feel the balance of. To be in tune with that and not to feel like, oh, I don't want to come off as to this, that, or the other. No, it's who we are. Being who you are and feeling proud about it. So that is your reading, and I'm going to finish with your two oracle messages, Capricorn. The first is from the beautiful Starseed deck that I absolutely love, and it doesn't matter if it's reversed or not. It's sometimes they are because of me shuffling. But this is definitely some wisdom that is being brought to you in the highest good. Absolutely filled with love and once again, just guidance to help you on your path. And your message for the first half of the month of October is Earth pulsing. Well, there you are, the Earth energy, right? So there you are, just like, whoo, you're feeling the Earth. You are a grounded, beautiful Earth sign. The pulse of mother, slow down, time in nature. Well, that is you love time in nature when you take time off to do so. It's how you rejuvenate. It's how you thrive. And look at this card. There shows a person just laying there and just taking it all in. I hope you're able to do that, even if it's in your own backyard, which is probably amazingly beautiful, because so many Earth signs I know have the most phenomenal gardens and, vegetable gardens and plants. They just seem to grow more than others. I'm being honest. I learned so much from Earth signs on how to do that. It would stand to reason, though. We all have something to share and offer to each other, which is so beautiful. And that's what's showing for you. So I want to read to you what this says. Because right now, the way the weather is, certainly in northern, America, with fall, it's one of the most beautiful times of all. And the weather's still warm in most places, and it's like, it's just godly, it's such a beautiful part of life. I'm reading out the wrong one because I'm spacing out. But so Earth pulsing. I love that came up for you. Seems very appropriate. A mysterious pulse is woven throughout all of life. The planet itself has a rhythm. You can see it in the seasons and the tides. And in a world of artificial long working hours and modern conveniences, it's easy for us to feel stuck and off kilter. It's time to reconnect with nature and surrender to the pulse of the earth. Earth pulsing is my favorite tool for surrendering to the rhythmic pulse of Mother and the entire universe. Download an earth pulsing meditation at www.starseedoracle.me. I've never had them advertised like that. Might be worth your while. Maybe a very, very important reason that came up for you, Capricorn. Today, many of us disconnect from the land beneath. Today, many of us are disconnected from the land beneath us. Somewhere along the way, a severing happened, a moment when it became too painful to stay connected. We feel unsupported and as if we don't belong. We look to other people and the external world to fill the void of the connection, holding and belonging once given to us by the earth. Taking, clutching, conquering, longing for others to receive us fully as the mother once did. Forgetting that she's still here, waiting for us to remember and activate the part of us that longs to receive her embrace. When you consciously connect with the earth, a veil is lifted and she opens up and receives you more fully. You're able to drink from her sweet waters and release what no longer serves you. Stagnant energy falls away and you become connected to all things on the planet. Isn't that just, the way the wording is done is a reason enough for me to want to read from this like almost every single month, but I do switch off. It is absolutely one of my favorites. It's so beautifully said, but it also is so beautiful that it came up for you because I feel like you can really relate to what's being said. And I too can relate to that. And I too have not been in nature nearly as much. I do go in my garden, which is small. And I look out and I see the amazing trees and things. But, you know, we can get back out there again. We can make that happen in small, small ways. And I'm really going to pronounce something right now that I just saw again. But I think it's so important if you have any opportunity at all to plant a tree. This is the biggest movement happening right now with a lot of them being burned down. But I'm not here to solicit anything. It just came from my heart. And I think it's so important if we all were to do that. And it sounds like something you would definitely be on board with and probably instigate, to be honest with you, Capricorn. But I'm going to finish with your last message, and that's the Super Attractor Manifestation deck, which is about, you know, creating and manifesting the life we want because we feel it into existence. And you know what it feels like. You know about the practical grounded beneath your feet, you know, tangible third dimension world we're living in. It's all about that. It's our comforts and our stability and our security in all forms. And to really just like take that one step further and have that emotional part of you, that sensible, full feeling, heart-centered energy, and just push it through that last ingredient, if you will, to manifest our lives that we want. Feeling good all the while, because that's essential for this to really take place. And your message says, when I live and act from a place of spiritual alignment, I can trust that everything is working out for me, even if I don't know when or how it will happen. And that's the ultimate right there, because it of course will, and in some form or another. And although we like to always try to program that or, you know, make that happen as a manifestation, it's just that trust that's so important in the alignment of knowing everything is going to be all right, you know, and then it will happen. And boy, does it happen in ways that you can't even imagine sometimes, you know. Ask for the best, ask for the most, but keep that alignment going and get in nature. That's a great way to do so. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking the time if you're still here at all, and I appreciate you so much. I do. I'm going to finish up the last 2 or 3 and get these uploaded as soon as I can. And I will be here for your second half of the month of October. I would love to have you come back and visit. And until then, just immerse yourself in as much love and earthly, you know, activities as possible. I think it's really to your benefit. And thanks for your time again. Until next time, bye for now.